Now y'all, this is not what the video about, but I just came across this weird video on YouTube. A lady and a mom was at home. It's currently dark. And the mom decides, I want to check up on my daughter. So she looks at the camera in her room, to spy on her daughter. And she see her daughter just standing up, looking at something in the distance in this dark corner or maybe dark hallway. So of course the mom had to run up, had to get her daughter. What else y'all probably didn't notice was when she picked the daughter up, she just kept looking at that same little area. And to this day, it's been hard for that daughter to sleep. What was she looking at? Was somebody was in the house? She could never explain what it was. I don't know. Should I have kids after this? I am home alone right now. And anything can happen. What if somebody's just looking at me right now? Let's talk about Mickey. She was last seen at her school. She was a girl that was into sports and she liked basketball. She was last seen leaving the school's back door. When she walked home, she just disappeared. The mom started getting worried because she didn't show up for hours. The mom was telling all her friends, but nobody knew where she was. That was pretty odd.
I knew I wouldn't see my daughter alive.
So then when the police got involved with this, they started asking her friends questionings. Their friends didn't know anything until they pulled out her cell phone records. And that's when they noticed something strange. Police seen that texting and calling one particular number. And this guy goes by the name of Cody. He's the senior at the school. This is Mickey's childhood friend. The friend that she grew up with. When the police asked him for questioning, he said the same thing basically everybody else was saying. Last time I saw her was by the school. It gets weird right here because when I was checking the surveillance camera, I see her walking alone in the hallway. Nobody's in the hallway by her. It's just her by herself. The only person who was in the hallway though was this guy Cody, meaning he was probably the last person to see her because hours later she leaves the school, she vanished, she disappears. I don't know though, this is getting crazy. We gotta see what's gonna happen as we get further into this.
The video from the school indicates to us that you were waiting for her. Okay?
I wasn't.
Because that was the time she disappeared, and that was the time she died. And you were involved.
I wasn't involved in her death.
I know you were now.
Police were searching for this girl for days, particularly 2 days, until this one searcher noticed something. Now, a lot of people probably would walk past this and didn't think nothing of it, but what this searcher seen was fresh tire marks coming off the road. So he follows this tire marks leading off the road, and he found something as he got closer to it, and he saw blood. It is Mickey. The searcher yells to the cops to hurry up and come. And she's been brutally beaten, but she was pronounced dead. But sadly, she was not alive.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, this is not over yet until the person or persons responsible are brought to justice.
So it's most likely that she was brought here and didn't even want to come here and was tortured. There's no way out of this. You're done. But who would do this and why would they do this? Now, of course, the police had somebody in mind, and that's Cody, because on the surveillance camera, they noticed that this is one of the last people that we seen her talking to. Cody, the childhood friend, right before she vanished. And what was odd about the whole thing was, remember when I told y'all, Cody said he saw her with this guy? When he said he saw her with this guy, it was in front of the school, but everybody else that was interviewed said they saw her back of the school. Now, my subscribers, my supporters, y'all probably thinking, okay, he probably had feelings for her. Yes, they dated. They did date, but they broke up and he went their separate ways. Not only that, Cody have a girlfriend, and I believe they got engaged. He ended up living with her. When the family heard that he was in interest by the cops, family was shocked. So he was interrogated again, and he was acting like he didn't know what the cops was talking about. The father came in and he said, be honest, tell the truth. Tell them what they want to know, and Cody broke down and told them everything. He said that him and Mickey went for a drive to the desert after school, and they got into an argument. Mickey hits him on the chest. Big altercations going on. Cody pushes her off him. She falls, she hits her head. Then the switch flipped for Cody. He got a shovel and he hit her. As he's explaining this, he's breaking it down in tears to the cops. But there's still a little noise, like of her gasping, coming from Mickey. So what's he do? Get a knife, slit to her throat. After he done that, he got that same shovel and digged up her own grave and buried her there. But before he left, he did try to burn her belongings. But of course, something in his story was just not right. Something wasn't adding up.
Kind of just tried to hit her on her head right here somewhere, trying to just knock her out.
The reason why something wasn't adding up because people think he wasn't confessing something. Everybody knew Cody, so it's either he was forced, he's hiding something, and maybe covering up for someone. Remember that girl that I told you about that Cody was dating? That girl, her name is Tony, fiancé, the girl that Cody moved in with. She was involved in the death of Mickey. Came forward and she confessed. And the story she told was completely different what Cody said. When Mickey disappeared, she received a text from Cody. What Cody texted Tony was, "I have her." So this must have meant while Mickey was in the car with Tony, she didn't even know and realize that this is going to be your last moments on earth. Cody then picks up Tony, and then Tony says, what happened was while we was driving, Mickey in the car got agitated. She got really agitated. So car stopped. Cody and Mickey then goes out the car to have a convo. I didn't go with them. I just started to hear them shouting. Started talking, then they started yelling at each other. But when I turned my head, I hear a loud thud on the car. I turn, I open the door, and I look, and I see that she's laying down. Tony says,
She fell down and hit her head, and she just laid there and was looking at the sky, and like her eyes started to turn black, and I didn't know what to do. I just sat there.
We was shocked. We really didn't know what to do. Said that she allegedly got the shovel and then hit Mickey. Cody and Tony, both together, slits her throat. They buried her together and they left. They got cleaned up and they went to McDonald's.
Michaela was on the ground, and she wasn't really moving at that point.
As Tony confessing all of this, she was then charged with homicide. But guess what? The story not over yet. People really knew that Tony was the sweet, innocent, genuine girl, and she would never do something like this. So that must have meant Cody forced our daughter to do this, as the family came out to say this. Later says he was a jealous, possessive, and controlling boyfriend. Because surveillance camera did see Cody pushing Tony against the wall, lifting her legs off the ground, dangling her feet in the air as he choked her. Only a violent boyfriend would do something like this. Meaning, when you was there with Mickey, Cody was in your ear like, do it. And she could have been there like, I don't know, please, like, I really don't want to. Tears coming down her eyes. He grabs her and he probably was like, do it for me, babe. Not saying that happened, but you get the point. And she did not want to press charges on Cody at all because she wanted Cody to go to the Marine.
3, 2, 1.
After being in jail for some while, they both was told a plea deal if they would testify against the other. This time she gave another completely different version of this case. Listen to this. She said that Cody was mad at Mickey, and when she got into this SUV, she saw Mickey in the back, scared with her hands to her face. While in the car together, Cody then texted her saying, we have to kill her. Cody then started to dig in the grave and then tells Tony to hit her. She refused. Then Cody started punching Mickey and then told Tony to hit her with the shovel. And of course, Tony didn't really want to. But Tony hit Mickey in the shoulder. Cody hit her in the head. When Mickey's body hits the ground, Tony held her legs. And during this point, Tony looks up at Cody and said, is she still alive? And if she could go home. Then Cody just slit her throat and they buried her. And they left. But there was a question that everybody was just wondering. Why did they do it? Tony wasn't as innocent as she made everyone believe. She was super jealous of the relationship of Cody and Mickey, childhood friend. And to be honest, a lot of people would get probably super jealous because there's a chance that y'all might date again, especially if y'all already dated. But then, you know, as Cody knew this, he then used this against her. During around this time, it was said that Mickey was not interested in Cody at all. She had a boyfriend and she didn't want nothing really to do with Cody in that way. Let's be honest, we know how jealous people can get. We know how crazy they can get. Sometimes you don't know who you might make jealous. So be careful, because people would do anything these days.